You are listening to Indie Soul Rhythms with Moochie Alfonso.
It's good for us, and it's good for me, yeah.
The show that brings you the very best in Indie Soul. It's probably the grooviest show on the planet.
Welcome to Indie Soul Rhythms. Today, we are thrilled to have the renowned artist Antonio McGaha.
Yeah.
Great. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. And I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear your story. Shall we dive into it?
Absolutely.
So I always like to start from the very beginning. A bit about your background and how it all started and what inspired you to pursue a career in music.
Sure. So first, I'd just like to say, Moochie, thank you again for this opportunity. It's always great to be able to have your art shared, especially across the world over in UK. So I just want to, again, thank you for this opportunity. But my start, I was actually born and raised in a little small rural area in Mississippi, a little place called Tishomingo, Mississippi.
Right.
My family, I grew up in a musical family. My mother is actually a pianist. My dad is a bass guitarist. We all sang. Or we all sing rather. So we grew up singing in church.
Right.
My dad, he actually had a vast record collection. So I grew up around music. Music was always either being played at home or we were always singing. So R&B, soul, gospel, that's kind of what my musical past consisted of. Like I said, either singing it or, listening to it throughout the day or on the weekends or what have you. Yeah.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Yeah, before we go any further, I just want to say, love the t-shirt. Love
Thank you.
that logo. Love that logo.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so who are some of the artists that had the most impact on you
Sure.
as you're developing as an artist?
Sure. So again, like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of music, via my dad having this vast record collection.
Yeah.
The greats, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, all those guys, you know what I mean? That's I think what I love about that music or from those time periods is you can hear that music even now. Or
Yeah.
for me, I can hear it now and I can go back to the exact day that I heard it, what I might have been doing, what was going on. The music was just so timeless and it, just connects you to a bunch of great memories. So yeah, those artists I grew up listening to a great deal and found myself at some point in my room listening and trying to emulate a lot of what they were doing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where, my foundation in music, just in terms of what I listened to came from. Yeah.
Amazing. I gotta say, most of the music that I've been listening to, like new stuff that's come out, got a lot of Marvin Gaye flavor to it.
Yes. One of the best to do it.
October London's album.
Yes. Great artist.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we do need to pay homage to those artists that laid the foundation for us.
Very important. Very important.
Can you walk us through your creative process, how it shapes your music?
Sure. It's crazy. My creative process is probably over the period of 45 years or so has definitely changed, or it changes from time to time because I'm influenced by a lot of different things. I mean, I've been in bed and woke up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because I heard a melody or something in my head, and that melody attached to a feeling or something that might have happened earlier that day. We can be driving down the street and I can see something. I can hear an instrumental track, and that instrumental track may give rise to a particular type of lyric or song or what have you. So for me, I kind of try to stay open and just be open to whatever, I'm listening to, what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling. And I try to write my music based on that. I will say this though, as of late, I'm really trying to tie into the spirit of music and really just really creating things or music, let me say it like that, that's more transformative, that's more authentic and more vulnerable and more real. I think that's where I am right now in my artistry. So just, paying attention to those things and making sure that my output, as far as the artist concerned, that it it touches on those areas. Yeah.
Fantastic. Are there any if there were 3 people you would work with this year, would that be in terms of collaborating?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So and people may find this very funny. One of my biggest producers, or one of the most well liked or admired producers that I love is DJ Quick out of California.
Oh
Um
yeah, man. Yeah.
yeah, I've
Shout out
always
to Quick.
yeah. Shout out to Quick. Shout out to Quick. And I'm actually, I've seen him on a lot of podcasts as of late, and I'm really glad that he's starting to get his just due.
Yeah.
I've been following him since, he came out. Well, I think his first single was Tonight. But
Yes.
what I admire about his mind is that he's musically sound for one, but he's not doing music just for the sake of music. Like he really understands
Mhm.
like all of music, just in terms of his production, his music design. Like he's a real musician. You know what I mean? He's not just a rapper, he's just not a producer. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate that about him. When you listen to his, I think he does a lot of engineering and mixing of his music, and just the clarity and the sound design, and again the things that he creates, to me is just is wonderful. So he would be one producer that I would like to work with. Fred Hammond, as I mentioned earlier, I grew up, singing gospel and around gospel. I really
Uncle Fred.
appreciate Fred Hammond's writing style. I think he, as an
Mm.
artist, he's just always been an artist that shows a lot of vulnerability in his writing. You can kind of really hear his heart, when you hear his music. So I respect that greatly about him. He would be another artist. And I would have to say Stevie Wonder, again, one of the greats from the past.
Absolutely.
His music is just, it's timeless. You know what I mean? I just, you can't say anything bad about the music that he's created over time. So he would be another artist that I would love to work with if afforded the opportunity.
Amazing. Amazing. Just going to touch on one artist producer you mentioned, Fred
Sure.
Hammond.
Yes,
I think he's one person who doesn't get his flowers, and he doesn't get enough recognition, but
I agree.
he's done a lot for gospel music from the
He
day
has.
commissioned, and then ready no, not ready for the world. I was gonna uh is choir
Radical, Radical for Christ.
radical for Christ, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fred's music, yeah, it has influenced me as well for quite a
That's
long time.
wonderful. That's
Yeah,
wonderful. Yeah,
amazing.
he's a tremendous artist. Yeah.
And I do ask a couple of fun questions during my
Sure.
interviews. And first one will be, what would you be doing if you're not making music?
If I wasn't making music, I would be traveling all over the world.
Just traveling.
Just traveling. Yeah. That's something that I've always had in my cars, or something that I, always wanted to do, and hadn't been, the earlier part of my life, hadn't been able to do a whole lot of it. But yeah, just traveling. I like to, um, I like to have different experiences. And I think, being
Yeah,
able to be exposed to different cultures, different
yeah.
ideas and things of that nature just kind of broaden your horizons and just kind of make you see things differently. So yeah, I would just be traveling and just experiencing, the things that I have yet to be able to experience. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, because a lot of people ask me where you from, and I say to them, I'm a global citizen because I've lived in
Hmm.
so many countries right now, and
Wow.
I don't feel like I belong anywhere. I belong everywhere.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So in a couple of weeks, I'll be in Spain, and
Nice.
really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, let's get back to this. It's not about me, man.
It's all good.
Is there anyone you would trade places with for a day?
It's funny you say that. I was just right before we got on the interview, I was thinking it popped in my head, like the idea of comparison,
Yeah.
how it can really truly rob you of the ability to really appreciate and be grateful for the life you have. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm really in a space and place right now where I'm working towards being just overwhelmingly grateful for who I am, and the being that God has created in me, and just really trying to appreciate and cherish who I am. Not
Yeah.
to say that, I'm better than anybody, or
Yeah.
any of those things, but I'm just really, I think I'm just grateful for being in the position I am and having what I've had and been able to experience the things I've experienced, because it makes me who I am.
Yeah.
So I really, you know, even in terms of wealth, or any of those things that people may, say, well, I would be like to be that person because they have a certain amount of wealth. I'm just happy being me. I'm happy being me.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
And
Very much so. Big on that.
and with regard to your music or music career, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
I think it's what you just said, just that I'm authentically me. I don't
Amazing.
try to, you'll hear people from time to time say you sound like this, or I mean, you sound like this, or that record sounds like this. I really don't in my creative process and in my, when I'm creating or I'm writing or singing or any
Yeah.
of that, I don't try to intentionally sound like anybody else. I just try to be me. You know what I mean? I think that's the most authentic form of art. Just
Yeah.
being who you are and staying true to who you are and staying in your lane. So yeah, I think that would be the most probably the biggest compliment that I'm authentic. What you see is what you get. What you hear is what you get. So yeah,
We
yeah,
love that. We love that.
yeah.
And you've got a new album out, The
Yes, sir.
Rebirth, Season 1.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
tell us what that album represents and what inspired it?
Sure. So the rebirth essentially is just, as it, what the word means. It's
Mm,
about transformation. Um, I'm gonna do it in a three-part series or seasons, as I like to title it. And
yeah.
it's just gonna talk about the various things that I've dealt with and the things that I've had the hurdles I've had to or barriers I've had to hurdle and things of that nature in each of those seasons. So this first season just kind of deals with where I am in love and how I got to the place where I stand presently in love, and just it talks about my life. So if you listen to it, it's like a story. So each season is
Yeah.
basically going to be a story of where I was, where I started and where I ended up. And ironically, seasonally, each track will actually give rise to what the seasonal feel.
Yeah.
So for instance, the tracks that you hear for this season or what have you, they have more of a summer feel. So then when I do the fall season, they'll have more of a bluesy, fallish feel or winter feel. So, but yeah, it's just about transformation, just about my transformation over a period of 20, 30 something years, where I was, things I've been through and where I am now. And just talks about even my sound. My sound is changed a great deal.
Right.
So just transformation in a good way, in a good way.
Amazing. Amazing. So I picked one track from that album. I've been listening to it, and
Okay.
I can promise you I did not fast forward any single track.
I
All the
appreciate that,
tracks are
man.
amazing. But
Thank
I've
you
picked
so
this
much.
one out.
Thank you.
And that's the one I just want you to tell our listeners a little bit about, because I'm gonna
Sure.
play it later on. In My
Okay.
Feelings, featuring Khalid Salam.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit more about this track.
And shout out to Khalid Salam. He actually produced that track as well. So in my feelings, this is just about, being engaged or in a, well, I wouldn't even say complicated situation. Let me say it like that. And in that situation, realizing at the end of the night, or that that person has to go back to where they need to go to or supposed to, and you're not, because you're not really
Together.
connected in a way that you would like to be because of some barriers or what have you.
Right.
But even realizing after that, man, I really care about this person more than I thought I did. So now that you don't have them in your presence, like you got all this anxiety, and it's like, man, I really want to see this person, I really want to be around this person, but my present situation right now won't allow me to be able to do so. But it doesn't take away from, the connection and
Right.
what you feel internally. So yeah, that's essentially where that song came from.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Complicated.
Um, yeah, yeah. So what's in the pipeline at the moment? What are you working on?
So presently I have my band Antonio and the ELCT connection. What ELCT stands for Epic Life Changing and Timeless. We are presently not performing, but presently preparing some shows here in the Atlanta area, some other things that's coming down, the pipeline as far as that's concerned. And I'm still working on the rebirth. Like I said, I have seasons 2 and 3 that will be
Yeah,
coming out shortly. So just, my focus right now is just putting out great art, and just focusing on, doing me and being me, the best version of me that I can be in all aspects of my life. So that's kind of where I am with it.
absolutely. Yeah, we
Yeah.
eagerly look forward to season 2.
Okay.
So we just want to say thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us.
Thank
And
you so
I want
much
to
for
give you
having
your
me.
flowers right now. We don't want to wait until you're no longer here, and then we start saying, "Oh,
Appreciate that.
you know, we appreciate your time." And do you have any final words for our listeners or aspiring artists?
Sure. Listeners, aspiring artists, anybody that's creating, or anybody that has a job or whatever you may be doing, my most valuable um valuable information that I could share with you would be to stay present, to stay patient, and to be you. You can only be the best you. There's only one you know what I mean? At the end of the day, so be the best version of you that you can be. And if you don't know who you are, I would suggest that you do the work to find out that information, to find out who you are. And then once you do, be the best be that you can, best you that you can be, because there's only one you. Present, patient, and being your best you. Yeah.
Wise words, wise words. Thank you again for joining us. It's been a
Thank you so
pleasure
much.
seeing you on Indie Soul Rhythms. Before we
Thank
let
you.
you go, please do us the honor of introducing your new single, In My Feelings, featuring Khalid Salam.
Yes, sir. You are now getting ready to hear In My Feelings by Antonio McGaha, which is on my newest album, The Rebirth Season 1, featuring Khalid Salam. Peace.
Thank you.